In this video 4.3, we are going to be solving proportions. By the end of the video and work time in class, you should be able to say, I can solve proportions. A proportion is two equal ratios. For example, if you take the scoundrel from the movie that we watched trimester 1, 2/3, we know that 2/3 disguised himself as 4/6. 2/3 is the same as 4/6. That would be two equal ratios. That right there is a proportion. There are many different methods that we can use to solve a proportion. I'm going to go over a few of them with you. The first one is unit rate. The second one is scale factor. And the third one is cross products. Going back to method number 1, unit rate, I'm going to show you an example where we look at the cost of baseballs. So we have dollars and we have baseballs. In proportions, we're looking at a relationship between two things. And I'm going to say that 2 baseballs cost us, we're going to say $5. So 2 baseballs is $5, and I want to know how much would 7 baseballs be. So we know what 2 is. So 2 would be 5, then we know 4 would be 10, and then 6 would be 15. And we want to know 7. We don't want to know 6. We don't want to know 8. We want to know 7 in between there. Well, if we're looking at unit rate, we're essentially looking at using how much is just 1. Well, if 2 baseballs is $5, that means 1 baseball would be half of the $5, which is $2.50. So what we're showing here then with unit rate is that 2 times 2.50, 2.5 is $5. Well, if on the left side from the top to the bottom, if I'm multiplying 2 times 2.5 to get the bottom, then that would be the same on the other side. I would take 7, multiply it by 2.5, 7 baseballs times 2.50 gives us a total $17.50. This is using the unit rate where we're looking at how much is just the 1 to help us figure out how many 7 would be. In scale factor, we'll use that same example where we have 2 baseballs is $5 and we want to know 7 is how much. With scale factor now, we're looking at the relationship here. Instead of top to bottom, we're going from the left side to the right side. So we know what 2 baseballs are. What about 7? Well, we don't want 4, we don't want 6. Well, what are we doing to multiply 2 by to get 7? We want 3.5 more baseballs. 2 times 3.5 gives us the 7. So we want 3.5 times more. Well, if we're doing that on the top, whatever you do on the top, you do on the bottom. You're going to multiply by 3.5, $5, and then triple that, and then half of it would give you $17.50. That is using the scale factor where you're comparing the values within one unit. Cross products, if we're looking at 2 baseballs is $5, 7 baseballs is X dollars, cross products means we're looking at the cross products. So cross, like this, there you see kind of your X, that's where you get the cross products. Well, we know 5 times 7 is 35, and 2 times X, we would write 2X. Well, in a proportion, the cross products have to be equivalent. They have to be the same. So we know that 5 times 7 has to be the same as 2 times X. So 35 is the same as 2 times X. Well, to isolate the X, undo your multiplication by division. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So X is 35 divided by 2, which once again is going to give us $17.50. So I just showed you one problem solved 3 different ways. Here is your output to work out for class. Be prepared with any questions. You should be able to say, I can solve proportions.